All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to all apostles and elders here at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. This is Brother Barak coming at you with a quick lesson that I pray is edifying and exhorting. And pretty much just want to show you proof on the Charagma, all right, the MOTB. This is ultimately what we're waiting on to be mandated, okay? And after this, things are going to be rolling fast. As the scripture says, if the days will not shorten, there should be no flesh left to be saved, right? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And we all know that when you go into that word mark, the Greek word for that would be charagma, okay? And we're going to get the definition of that here. Let's go to okay, so first let's go here to charagma. It says a Greek word that means stamp or brand. It was commonly used to describe imprints on coins or documents in the Roman Empire. Charagma was used as an imperial seal on official documents in the 1st and 2nd centuries. And then down below it shows you where all that word charagma is used, in the scriptures in the book of Revelation, right? But it says what? It says a Greek word means stamp or brand. So we know that's something physical, that's something you can see. But it's not speaking about barcodes on somebody's forehead or on their hand. It's going to be something that's going to be implemented in them. So when you go down here, it's giving you a more simplified definition. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, imprinted, right, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? So I went down here, and I believe I clicked this. What is a charagma? It says in Greek, a stamp or brand. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so that was that. Okay. Matter of fact, I gotta go back here where it says scratching or etching. All right, let's see here. Okay, Salakia. So when you hit this word charagma, and then you go down here to the Strong's definition, it says a scratch or etching, i.e. stamp, right? So what I did, I went to this word, I checked out etching, and it was going more into, like using like a machine, the etching machine. But when you go into this word scratching, it says the word scratching has multiple meanings: to mark or damage a surface, to scrape, dig, or tear a surface with something sharp or rough, such as a nail or claws. For example, you might scratch your hand on a nail or scratch a match on a sidewalk. So go to something scraping, something digging in you, and that's where you would get the Greek word for this, for charagma, will go to charax, right? So when you go to charax, first let's get back here. So the charagma is what that's the mark they're going to put in you. So they're going to implant it. But the way it has to be implanted, it has to be, your skin is going to have to be scratched open. And as we just read, it says, let's see what it says for imprinted here. It said to tear, a claw. But imprinted says imprint, impress, or stamp a mark or outline on a surface or body, right? So that mark, this is something physical, as we see, right? So as it says, scratching and etching, back here, to mark or damage a surface, to scrape, dig, or tear a surface. So what is it going to use to tear? It's going to use the charax, which is the Greek word. The root word for charagma is charax, a pale or stake or palisade. A palisade is what they used, to siege a city, right? As you see here, you see them sticking up on that picture, but they will be pointed, towards the the structure that they're besieging around. Like if you have city walls, so if anybody tried to flee, it'd be very difficult for them to flee. It would be a way to get around it, but it would take a lot of time, right? So sometimes called a stake wall or a paling. It's typically a row of closely placed high vertical standing tree trunks or wooden or iron stakes. But you got to understand, this is written simply in code, but what John the Revelator is doing, he's using words. Well, he used the word mark, because of what was it used for? It's used for charagma, right? And charagma is an imprinted mark. He's like, oh damn, they gonna put that inside them, a stamp or a seal, because it tell you that no man should be able to buy or sell save he that had that mark. So who they have to have that mark, and he seen that it was scratched inside their skin, right? Their skin had to get scratched. Their skin had to get broken for them to receive it, which is where you would get the word karax, right? So like we just read, a pale, or stake, a palisade. So then you go here to the word karax. And then this is just it didn't give you too much on Google, but it showed you this right here. And what did that remind you of? When you look at that picture, first thing that came to my mind was a needle. Okay, and that's exactly what they're going to use to put it into people. A subdermal needle. Sub meaning under, dermal meaning skin. The needle is going to pierce the skin. It's going to scratch open the skin. The mark is going to go under the skin. That mark is the charagma. And when you simply type it in on Google, that's all it's going to pop up. Hashtag what? MOTB, the mark of the beast, right? And it's also going to say, you're going to see a lot of things that say RFID chip, right? So when you read down here at the bottom of the word, it says the word stylus along with the word style comes from the Latin word stylus, meaning a stake, a pointed instrument used by the Romans for writing upon wax. You see? So that's that palisade. Okay? So it's just that, when you using a blue letter, any concordance you're using, what it's doing is translating back into that language, okay? Predominantly the Greek, translating back into that language, and then it gives you the definition of what it would mean for that in that language, what it was used for at that time, right? So karax meaning, let's see here. All right, go back to charagma. Just a quick lesson, proof for the MOTB, man. Right? So what is that mark? And I just simply typed in charagma here. Charagma, a Greek word that means stamp or brand. Let's go to images. Then you see the movie. I guess it's a movie came out. Then you see this here, RFID. You see? So they're going to put that mark inside of you by what? By piercing your skin. Okay? So that shows you it's something physical. It's not sin. It's not an embargo. It's not sleeping with white women. It's not going to be a big 666 written on your forehead, right? And ultimately, the main thing that links it up with the C-hip, okay, is the next verse. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, charagma, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And even when you go into the root word of karax, it goes into grapho, which means it's going to be whatever you're implanted with, that physical mark that you're going to receive, is going to have to be something written on it. And that writing is going to, that word there is grapho, which is the coding. It's going to be coded. Okay? Look at the system that's set up. So if you believe that we're in the end times, what is the mark? What is the MOTB? Because no man should be able to buy or sell. So it's going to have to be, if it's under your skin, we already proved that through the scratching, through the etching, okay, the palisade, okay, we looked at the pictures, we went into the word. So if it's something under your skin, how are you going to be able to buy or sell with it? Look at the technology that they have out right now. Use your brain. Something like the elder apostle says, use your head for more than a hat rack. Okay, so just think about that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I pray you was edified and exhorted. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Dab honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.